Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As I go out on these walks, you know, I just usually say what I see, but sometimes I have an idea for a video, and sometimes they work well and sometimes they don't. Just letting the wee plane fly over. We're near the air training school here. And I started to think about some of the coaching tools that I used to use with in my previous role as a coach and as a management development coach. And I thought maybe some of those would be useful for people who've never heard them before. So on this video, I want to talk about something called SMART objectives. So if you want to change something in your life and you want to set a target, it's easy to just say, well, I would like to do this. But this tool will help you break it down into something manageable. And you might find it useful, I don't know. So what the hell is a SMART objective? A SMART objective is a set of steps that help you make sense of something that you want to get better at or put in place. And you know, that's SMART is a mnemonic for a tool that helps you move forward. So I'm just going to run through each of those steps. So SMART objectives, S. If you want to achieve something in your life or get better at something, you have to be specific. So don't just say, I want to lose weight. Actually state how much weight you want to lose. Don't just say, you know, I want to get a better job. Actually pick the job that you want. So you've got to be very specific, because if you've just got a vague objective, it's unlikely you're ever going to drive yourself forward to actually achieve it. The M is measurable. So you have to put in a set of steps that allow you to track your progress. Because you're never going to be able to do, for example, a weight loss, you're never going to be able to lose 10 stones in a week. But you might lose 10 stones over a year. So you break that down into maybe monthly targets or even weekly targets, whatever works best for you. And then you measure how you're doing as you go. And if you're not getting the results that you wanted to get, then you need to adjust what it is you're doing to get there. So you've got to be able to measure your progress. If you don't do that, you're guaranteed to fail. Let's move on to the A. So the A is seen as a number of different things. People see it as action-based, people see it as achievable, and a few others. But basically the one I tend to use is achievable. So if you set yourself a goal that even you don't believe, you're never going to get there. So when you set that target, make sure it's something that you can achieve. You know, trying to go from a 20 grand a year job into a 60 grand a year job isn't very likely unless you've got specific skills that you can take to the market. So there's no point in saying that you're going to go from serving burgers in Burger King to being the managing director of a massive PLC. It's not going to happen. It may happen in steps, so break it down into steps. Then we move on to R. The next step is relevant. Hola, buenas.
In YouTube.
Oh, gracias, muy bien. There's another little viewer watches the channel on YouTube. Little Spanish chap, that's brilliant. So R is relevant. If you set yourself a goal to achieve something that you have absolutely no knowledge of or no interest in, that's never going to happen. You know, if you can't play guitar, for example, but you reckon you're going to play in front of 20,000 people on a stage or a stadium. It's not relevant. There's no way that you're going to get there. So make sure that the goal you set is relevant to you and your life and the skill set that you've got, and you've got a much better chance of achieving it. And then the next step, the T, is time bound or timed. So what does that mean? Well, simply all it means is you've got to put a deadline on it. When is it you want to achieve the goal that you've set yourself? So, you know, if I was 20 stone for a minute and I wanted to get down to 10 stone, and I'm going to do that within 3 months. Again, it's specific, it's measurable. Is it achievable? Probably not. Is it relevant? It's relevant to you because it's your weight loss journey. And because you've put time on it of 3 months, you can look at it yourself and say, there's no way I'm going to do that. There's no way I'm going to achieve this target within that deadline. So whenever you're setting the time deadlines, be realistic about that as well. You know, put in a time scale where you've at least got a chance of achieving what it is you set out to do. Because otherwise, you'll just fail and you won't even bother. Oh. Hopefully that all makes sense. So I'm just going to wander back now, back up to my sun lounger. So SMART objectives: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So get yourself a bit of paper and a pen, or maybe if you know you're a modern type person, you might use your tablet or use an iPad or something. But whatever it is, think about something that it is that you really want to achieve in your life. You know, you must have things floating around in your head. So write it down, what it is you want to achieve, and then apply this SMART objectives tool to it. And it will help you bring the whole thing to life, to the point where it's a much better chance of being achieved than just, you know, having these pipe dreams, these things in your mind that you could say, oh, I wish I could, one day I will, or one day I wish I could, all that sort of stuff that goes through people's heads. And let me know how you got on in the comments. You know, is it a tool you've heard of before? Is it a tool you've used before? I'm a great believer in, if you really want something in life, you go out and make it happen. You know, and people have said to us, we're so lucky to live in Spain, and luck's got nothing to do with it. You know, we had a long-term plan. It was on our mind that one day we would, and we just sat down and put the steps in place to make sure that we could do it. So it's amazing. I've said this before, that in life I've met 3 types of people. People that make things happen. People that watch things happen. And people that say, when did that happen? So you've really got to ask yourself which group you're in. Be in the first group. Be the kind of person that makes things happen, and go out and have a much better life than maybe you have at the minute, if there's things you want to change. And if your life's great, fantastic, even better. So hope you enjoyed that one. Make sure you click on like and subscribe, and look out for further videos. And if you'd like something more on this sort of theme, just, you know, let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to do a few more. Anyway, we'll draw this one to a close. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all on the next video. Hasta pronto.